Look around you. The hum of electricity, the glow of screens, the quiet safety of walls that hold the night at bay. We call this normal life. But this comfort, this illusion of permanence, is younger than we imagine. For 99.99% of our existence, there were no cities, no borders, no written words, just survival and the firelight of a species that refused to die. So how did we get here? How did a frail animal at the mercy of the wild become the architect of worlds? This is the story of how humanity awoke, the forgotten world. In the beginning, we weren't alone. 6 million years ago, our ancestors split from the apes. What followed wasn't destiny. It was struggle, mutation, and chance. We think of human as a single species, but the truth is far stranger. 2 million years ago, the world was crowded with different kinds of humans: Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Neanderthals, and Denisovans. Each had hands to shape tools, minds to plan hunts, voices to share warnings. Imagine walking through a prehistoric forest and seeing another species that looks almost like you, with fire in their eyes, curiosity in their movements. For hundreds of thousands of years, they lived beside us. Then, one by one, they vanished. No one knows exactly how or why. Maybe we outcompeted them for food. Maybe climate and chance did what war never could. But in the end, only one species remained. Us, Homo sapiens, the last survivors of a family that once spanned continents. We weren't stronger or faster. We were something else. Dreamers, storytellers, and schemers. And that difference, invisible yet profound, would change the earth forever. The fire within. It began with fire. The first human who tamed a spark did more than survive the cold. They changed the rhythm of life itself. Fire gave warmth and protection. It turned night into day. It cooked food, unlocking hidden energy that fed the brain and fueled imagination. By the light of fire, tribes began to gather, to speak, to wonder. At first, our voices were crude, gestures, grunts, simple sounds. But soon, those sounds became symbols, and those symbols became stories. With language, humanity discovered its greatest weapon. Not the spear, but the shared idea. A plan for a hunt, a warning of danger, a memory of ancestors. With words, we learned to think together, and that changed everything. No single human could outrun a lion or outfight a mammoth. But together, with stories and strategy, we became unstoppable. Fire taught us how to control the world. Language taught us how to imagine one. The Great Leap Forward. For millions of years, life changed little. Tribes roamed, hunted, gathered. Generations lived and died under the same stars. And then, around 70,000 years ago, something extraordinary happened. A spark in the human mind. Archaeologists call it the cognitive revolution. We began to create art, to paint animals on cave walls, to carve symbols, to dream gods and spirits. We could now imagine things that didn't exist, futures, fictions, and faith. This was not evolution of the body, but of the mind. We became storytellers of reality itself. And through story, we organized the world. We built communities held together not by blood, but by belief, shared myths, laws, and values. It was this invisible glue, this ability to imagine together, that allowed a few thousand hunter-gatherers to one day build civilizations that would rule millions. The world had always belonged to the strong. Now, it belonged to the storytellers. The birth of civilization. 12,000 years ago, the world began to warm. Ice melted, rivers swelled, and humans discovered something revolutionary: seeds. Farming didn't happen once. It happened everywhere, almost simultaneously. In Mesopotamia, the Nile, the Indus Valley, China, and the Americas. For the first time, food could be stored, land could be owned, and power could be claimed. Farming was the beginning of civilization and the end of innocence. When we settled, we built walls to protect what we owned. We invented gods to bless our fields, armies to defend them, and rulers to govern us. Villages became cities, cities became kingdoms, kingdoms became empires. Writing emerged to keep track of grain, taxes, and trade, but it also became a vessel for memory. Through ink and clay, we began to defy time. Every stone monument, every temple and palace was humanity writing itself into history. For the first time, we weren't just surviving, we were building eternity. The age of questions. For thousands of years, empires rose and fell like waves. Egypt, Babylon, Greece, Rome, each believed they were eternal. Each learned that nothing built by humans lasts forever. But something new was happening beneath the ruins, the evolution of thought. We started to question everything, the gods, the stars, even ourselves. Philosophy was born, then science, then reason. With the scientific revolution, humanity's gaze shifted from heaven to earth, and then to the universe itself. We learned to measure, to experiment, to prove. We built machines that turned coal into motion, motion into power, and power into empires greater than any before. But with every revolution came a paradox. Our knowledge grew faster than our wisdom. We learned how to harness fire again, but this time as electricity, as the atom, as data. We became gods with the minds of apes, and that tension defines our age. The age of acceleration. The last 500 years have rewritten everything that came before. For millions of years, human life changed at the pace of generations. Now, it changes at the pace of decades, even days. We split the atom. We touched the moon. We mapped the human genome and built machines that think. The internet connected our minds into one vast nervous system, humanity, reborn as a global consciousness. Yet, beneath the glow of our cities, the old human still stirs. The hunter, the wanderer, the fragile being who once knelt before firelight in the dark. We are ancient minds wearing modern masks. We crave meaning, not just comfort. And as our machines grow smarter, we must ask, will they inherit our fire or extinguish it? The fragile present. It's easy to believe this is how life was meant to be, with lights, safety, and endless abundance. But this comfort is built on borrowed time. Our technology shields us from nature, yet depends on the balance we disrupt. Our societies promise connection, yet breed loneliness. Our power grows, but so does our fragility. We've conquered everything, except ourselves. If history teaches anything, it's this. Every civilization believes it will endure. Every empire thinks it is different. But time humbles them all. Perhaps the question is not how long our civilization will last, but what will remain of us when it fades. Will we be remembered for our machines, our wars, our art? Or will we, like those early humans, simply pass on the spark, the unquenchable urge to build, to question, to dream? The human miracle. Take a breath. Look around you, at the walls, the lights, the quiet hum of life. You are the product of every ancestor who refused to give up. Every scar, every failure, every whispered myth led here, to you, alive in an age that 99.99% of humanity could never imagine. You have warmth without fire, food without fear, knowledge without generations of waiting. For most of human history, this would have been called magic. And maybe that's what it is. Because the real miracle of humanity isn't what we've built. It's that we can imagine something better. And as long as we can do that, the story isn't over. It's still being written. In us. If you found this story fascinating, like, share, and subscribe to Timeless Questions channel, where we explore the civilizations, ideas, and mysteries that shaped humanity.